Good afternoon. Welcome to Prism Radio. Today is March 19th, 2022. Got a good show lined up today. It's going to be a bit on the heavier side. It's just that the stuff that I ended up finding recently all ended up being mostly rock. But there is some other stuff on here. It's going to be either rock or electronic. And if you're not into that, then today is not the show for you. But let's see, about half the show is going to be more in the rock and metal category, and the other half is pretty much all either pop or electronic. But it's a lot of interesting stuff, a lot of really cool stuff. Stuff I just found this week, in fact, which pretty sure I always say that because I always procrastinate putting this off. See, the problem is I already rinsed through all like the stuff that I really wanted to show everyone that I've been listening to for years. So now that I got past all the good stuff that I wanted to show everyone, now it's like, oh, now I actually have to get back into my habit of finding and organizing new music like I had to do back in college, which I do enjoy doing. And I think I mentioned this a couple shows ago, is that my Spotify recommendations have finally gotten good after so many years of just recommending to me pure garbage week after week after week. Like, it depends on where I look, because I can go to where's like the Discover, where it's like, oh, we created this metal list for you, and it's all just like Drowning Pool or Disturbed, and it's like, nah, I'm good, you can keep that, I'm all set. I don't know, I can't find it right now, but yeah. So we're gonna start off with a band that I actually just found today. I was setting up for the show, and I got on Spotify, and it was like, hey, recommended album for you, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll check it out. And I listened to a little bit of it, and I was like, oh, yep, this has to go on the show today. So it's more black gaze, which obviously you know by now that I like black gaze. So we're going to head right on into that. And this is going to be The Keepsake by So Hideous.
の場所も理由も訳もわからず、ただこれは僕の世界じゃない、それだけを分かった桜の中で、その像の目に生まれ君はリアル、その姿見失う、それでもさまよい続ける届かぬ祈りの声、願いを
Ihai by 5150. They're a metal band from Japan, as you might have guessed, but they mostly do songs about Toho, and by extension, songs about Fumo. If you don't know what those words mean, don't worry about it, you'll be okay. I always liked the idea of a Fumo band. Brought my Fumo to the beach. It would be really cool. I'm not the Toho expert here. I'm gonna have to call in my friend for that. But maybe he'll give me another Toho song in the future, or maybe just a pure Fumo song. Fun fact: I tried finding Fumo music on Spotify, and that's how I ended up finding the metal band Fuming Mouth. They're actually pretty cool. If you like death metal hardcore fusion, Fuming Mouth's pretty cool. I don't know if I played them on the show. I should, because they're actually pretty cool. I like the hardcore death metal fusion stuff that I've been finding recently. Like, I think the other one was Gatecreeper. They're pretty cool. This next song this band actually got pretty popular in the last couple years, and by pretty popular I mean they've gotten maybe like 1.5 million views on YouTube, which in the realm of what I've been playing here is pretty popular, but still very much in the realm of underground, and which is kind of weird because it sounds like the kind of thing that you'd hear on the radio, not in a bad way, but more of in like hard rock radio. But I like it. It's mostly because of his vocal style. He has a very nice vocal style, very emotional. But I don't know. It's something about just the way he sings. He kind of pushes his voice a little bit further than just singing, more kind of like a pleading. I don't really know how to describe it. I saw it randomly at the music store like 2 weeks ago, and I bought it, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll try this out. I saw that it had like good reviews, so I grabbed it. And so far, I've been liking a lot of what I've been hearing from this guy. This is Alkaline by Sleep Token. Prism Radio, welcome back. That last song was By the Lake at Night by Male Alchemy. which sure is a spicy name for a music group, I tell you. And I ended up finding that through trying to find on Spotify this art. I don't know if it's an artist or a compilation called Macro Blank. And I found a couple Macro Blank albums like a couple weeks ago, and they were awesome. Loved them. Couldn't find Macro Blank anywhere on Spotify, but Spotify will give you like similar artists to whatever is searched. And Male Alchemy popped up, and I was like, wow, that's quite a name for a music group. Like, you gotta, if you want me to click on your band, you gotta have either interesting cover art or an interesting song or band name, because otherwise I'm probably not gonna like click it or anything. Male Alchemy, that's pretty spicy. What are you all about? And it's pretty much what I expected from searching for Macro Blank. I got pretty similar. I can't remember the name for it. There's like a specific genre term. It was called like, it's like Haircuts for Men is in that same genre. It's called like Barber Wave or Barbershop or something like that. It has to do something with barbershop, and I don't remember what the actual genre title is, and it's been driving me insane. So if you know what it is, please tell me. But yeah, so that's how I found Male Alchemy, and it just kind of, chill vibes, and I always like some chill vibe music. Can't go wrong with that. I don't think any chill vibe artist will ever be better than Tycho, in my opinion, but Tycho's really, really popular, so I don't think that's like an unpopular opinion at all. I did really like Macro Blank, though. I would definitely listen to more of that. I think Tycho just has like a nostalgic property to me, because I listened to a lot of Tycho when I studied in college. So now that's kind of just my anchor for any sort of like chill wave music. I'm biased, I know. Moving on, we got coming up with another metal song. And I remember telling you guys a couple weeks ago about like the big names in Christian black metal. And this was not on there because I didn't know about them until probably the week after that. But yeah, more good stuff from them. This is The Cold and the Hope by Vials of Wrath. Sentient by Perturbator and Haley Stewart. And I don't think I ever actually pronounced his name properly, but you know what I mean. Interesting. I didn't actually know that. I knew that Perturbator did collaborations with other musical groups, because I think I've played his collaboration with Alcest, and I'm pretty sure I've played Alcest on the show before. Really good French post-black metal band by a guy that's been doing music for like 20 years now. But I didn't know that he ever actually did anything with vocals in it. I don't know if Haley Stewart actually has her own music group, but I do like her vocals in this. Very nice, very kind of like a cyberpunk kind of feel to it, like Sidewalks and Skeletons has, or any sort of cyberpunk media from the last couple of years. Maybe like The Ascent. Good stuff. This next song is a Japanese band called Fantastic Youth. The song's called Fool Show. It's in Japanese on Spotify, so I'm not sure how you'd actually find it, but the English name is Fool Show. And I like it. It's just a very fun song, and it kind of mixes, there's a little undercurrent of some Eurobeat in there, but otherwise just a very good, fun J-pop song with a little bit of some J-rap in there. And I think that they've done some sort of openings for some anime before. It definitely sounds like it. It could very much be an anime opening in itself, but I don't think this song is, but I'm pretty sure they've done them before. And usually when an artist gets a gig like that, they begin producing more of that similar style. I think Ruka DD did, and I'm sure a lot of other groups have. But yeah, so this is Fantastic Youth with Fool Show.
「
Big City Night by Night Tempo. Very funky song, reminiscent of some maybe late night talk shows, which actually a lot of future funk really is kind of based on that same vibe of like late night city culture, which is something that I haven't really experienced a lot myself because I've always lived more rural, and I didn't live near a big city in the last 23 years. So I don't really have a lot of context for that. Also, because it was more of a thing before I was born. But I definitely like the style of a lot of future funk. I've played a lot of future funk on the show, I believe. But I really like night tempo. Anything with saxophone, I do really like saxophone. I like a little bit of jazz. But anything jazz fusion, I really end up liking, except for electro swing, which I don't know if that counts as like jazz fusion. But man, if there isn't a more Reddit music genre than electro swing, you will not find that on this show. Moving on, we got 2 more songs left. I'm going to play one, and then the last song is going to be our closing Anathema song. So I actually was going to play this song on last week's show, but that would push the show a little bit too far past the hour mark, so I ended up benching it until this show. But going back to Vials of Wrath, this is another really good Christian black metal project. It's one guy. I don't know if I can really call it a band. But it's really interesting because he does not just black metal, but he does a lot of ambient, and he did some sort of like cover of the Lord of the Rings soundtrack. He did something Lord of the Rings related, more of like a cinematic movie score. Now, I don't know if it was an actual cover of the soundtrack, or if it was like his own spin on it, or if it was just kind of like a Lord of the Rings themed cinematic ambience album. So if you like that stuff, definitely check him out. I don't really have an opinion on that. I'm not really that into Lord of the Rings. I saw it years and years and years ago, and I really should rewatch it now that I'm, not a child watching it in a movie theater. So maybe I'll get more out of it after that. But so far, he does some other just dark ambient stuff, which I think I've mentioned on a previous show as well, that I'm not really into dark ambient. I like some of it though. Some of it can be really cool, especially for like busy work if you're drawing or doing paperwork, whatever. So that's really cool. And before I leave, I wanted to, because I've never pointed it out, that all the pictures that I use for the image on my shows, these are all screenshots from PC98 games, from the PC98 system. And if there's one art style I love, it's PC98. I'm absolutely fascinated with the PC98. Now, unfortunately, a lot of those games are either lost or they are X-rated, and that's not something that I'm going to be involved with in any sort of capacity. But I love the art style. It's so crisp and warm and inviting, and even like the darker, more dramatic stuff, it just looks so good, and it just like there's just a graphical fidelity that you don't get in modern games for the most part. And I know that there's actually, there are good pixel art games that still come out frequently, but none of them have this specific art style, and I'm not entirely sure what makes it so inviting to me. I can't really nail it down. It's just because it's so clean and crisp, and there's really good contrast and has bright colors. I don't know, but the PC98 has probably some of my favorite artwork in any sort of like digital art out there. So that's where all these come from. And I'm definitely not going to run out anytime soon. There is more than enough PC98 wallpapers out there that I can steal from. So moving on into the next song, this is going to be Martyrdom by Fathomage.
Пречистую Его Матерь возблагодарим.
And again, that was Martyrdom by Mage. Absolutely fantastic project. Love his work. And we're going to be wrapping up the show with our last song, closing with our Anathema song. I just want to thank everyone for tuning in, your continued viewership. I love it. It means a lot to me. I like the fact that I'm not just doing this for myself, even though that's why I started the show. I like that I'm able to share stuff with everyone and that I get feedback on the show. So thank you very much for making this worthwhile. This is going to be the Lightning Song by Anathema. Have a good night. God bless.